Did you know that Adobe removed the 3D feature from Photoshop? So, how are designers creating 3D text now? And more importantly, which program should you use to create 3D text? Stick around to find out why Illustrator is the ultimate tool for creating stunning 3D text effortlessly. Let's start with a quick history. Adobe began discontinuing Photoshop 3D's features with the release of version 22.5 in August 2021. This change has left many Photoshop users looking for alternatives for 3D text. Without native 3D tools, Photoshop users have been forced to get creative with workarounds. Here's how some designers create 3D text in Photoshop using manual layering technique. I'm starting off with a transparent background, and then I added a gray rectangle. And the last thing I did was add text, bold text, uppercase. First thing we're going to do is we're going to right click on the layer and convert this to a smart object. Now we want to go to the layers style and choose the effects and drop shadow. Under the drop shadow we have multiply, we have a black shadow. Our opacity is 5. Our angle is going to be 100. Our distance is 8 and spread 0 and size is 7. When finished, click OK. With the layer selected, we're going to do Control T for transform, and that's a free transform, by the way. Hit the up arrow once and then hit the left arrow once. Press Enter. Now we're ready to start adding layers to our text. And so what we want to do is we want to do Control Shift Alt T multiple times, basically about 40 times. You can see here the layers I'm adding. Because of time, I sped this up and we'll stop at 30 layers. Select the top layer, hold Shift, and select the bottom layer. With the layer selected, hit Ctrl plus G to group the layers. While this can give you a passable 3D effect, it's time consuming and it doesn't look as polished as what you can achieve with true 3D tools. Now let me show you why Illustrator is a better choice. If you have Photoshop, most likely you already have Illustrator. Creating a 3D text in Photoshop, as you have seen, is time consuming with poor results, especially if you have Illustrator, which has all the tools you need to create a 3D text as a vector image. Here we have Illustrator. I'm using a 16:9 artboard, and like in our Photoshop example, I have a light gray background. Select the type tool, and let's type in a word here. I'm going to type in text. And by the way, I'm at about 300 points and I'm on bold. And I'm going to select that. And we're going to come up here to change the color to red. And now we have a red text. We're going to move up to Effect. We're going to select 3D. And we have a bunch of them here: Extrude, Revolve, Inflate, Rotate, Materials, 3D Classic. We're going to choose Inflate. And now our menu pops up for 3D Materials. Notice right off that we have the same thing that was in the menu that was up here in Effects. The same items that are here are also up here: Plane, Extrude, Revolve, Inflate. So we have pretty much the same ones. Once again, we're under Inflate, and you can see our text has blown up a little bit. And now what we're going to do is we're going to change some of the parameters here and modify our text. So we're going to go depth at 60 pixels. We're going to leave twist where it's at. We're going to go down here to taper, leave that at 100. Come down here to volume, we're going to leave that at 50. We're going to come down here to the font drop down, and we're going to choose isometric top. right here. Notice how many options we have to control our environment. Let's move now up to materials. We're going to come down here to roughness, make that 0. On metallic, we're going to make it 0.4. And now we're going to move up to lighting. And we can change the direction of the lighting any way we want. We have a lot of options up here. Let's move down into this area. We have intensity. We're going to make that 130. We'll make rotation minus 48. And you can see over here the changes that are taking place. We're going to make the height 45 degrees, same as it is. And the softness, we're going to make it 75. We're going to come down to ambient. And on ambient, we're going to make that 65. And down to shadows, we're going to turn it on. And we're going to make the shadow bounds 400. So they really come out to the edge here. Now we're going to move up to the top and we're going to render. We're not done yet. We're going to render our text. So we're going to click on render. And we can see that our text is beginning to render. It's taking a little bit of energy. My computer fan just came on, so you might be hearing that. So the time it takes to render, for me on my computer, it took approximately 2.5 minutes to render this. Now, depending on what your computer's performance is, it could take longer or it could take less time than this. And also depending on the amount of text that you've typed up that you're trying to render. So let's close our material. Looks great. So while Photoshop has its limitations, Illustrator truly outshines it when it comes to creating professional 3D text. If you found this tutorial helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more tips and tricks, and I'll see you next time.